G'day, I'm Adam Gordon, the Profits League Detective, and a very warm welcome to this cash flow optimization report, a 5-minute interview where we give you some immediate practical tips on how to improve the cash flow and profitability in your business. Most of us are flat out running our businesses and we don't think too much about what comes next. What happens when you decide to step back and get out of the rat race? How do you ensure that you get the maximum value for your business to fund the next stage of your life? And today I'm joined by Kerry Boulton from the Exit Strategy Group. Kerry, and a very warm welcome to you.
Thank you, Adam. Pleased to be with you.
Nice to have you on board. For those of you who don't know Kerry, when it comes to being able to monetize a business for sale, Kerry has had over $15.4 million worth of runs on the board from businesses she successfully helped build and sell over the last 3 decades. That's a pretty good record, it seems to me, Kerry. She's described by most people who meet her as an elegant serial entrepreneur. Kerry was the first woman to manage and own an international freight forwarding company when she negotiated the buyout of Freight Management International, a division of the publicly listed company Main Nicholas Limited. She successfully sold the business 9 years later after a multi-million-dollar turnaround. Over the past 20 years, Kerry has mentored many business owners through successful business growth, positioning them for their ultimate sale. Kerry works with business owners to help them create their business exit strategy and a life after business. Kerry's going to answer 4 questions on 4 game changes to maximise the value of your business so you can exit in style. Now, our rules are pretty simple. We've got 5 minutes or thereabouts for the interview, and when we're done, we're done. Kerry, are you ready to go?
This is, absolutely, speed interview. Okay.
Now, I know you spent a lot longer than 5 minutes when you normally do this topic, but let's see what we can give our viewers. Okay, first question. Do business owners actually know what an exit strategy is?
You know, Adam, that is a really good question because in my experience, most people don't. And in fact, just this week, I was at a 2-day conference and talking to the business owners around the table and telling them what I do. And they said, an exit strategy, that means putting my business up for sale, does it? I said, well, maybe. It depends. What do you want to do? What's your idea? You know, what's an exit strategy to you? So most people don't really understand, quite frankly, what an exit strategy is. I mean, for some people, yes, it's putting the business up for sale. For others, it's a succession, you know, in terms of particularly with family business, and 70% of private business owners today are in family businesses. And the other exit that most people don't contemplate is that, you know, you can have someone else running your business. You can be just simply looking at your numbers and looking at your dashboard while you're out enjoying your life out there on the beach. But, you know, maybe that's not the exit that everybody's looking for. So the most important thing is to really understand what it is that you're looking for. And that's where we start to explore and take into account all the other stakeholders and areas of both your life, your family, your business, that, you know, where you want to go and what you want to do with your life.
What we want to do with our life, exactly.
Yes.
Why is it important to have an exit strategy? Are there any common triggers that cause owners to put their business up for sale?
Well, yes, and unfortunately, these sort of triggers are what I've termed the dastardly Ds, and not a lot of people are prepared for them, but you don't really want to have to face them if you can avoid it. And these are the things that are, I've sort of thought about, and it can be, you know, things like declining sales, disinterest, death, divorce, disability, disaster, disputes, disease, distractions, debt, you know, and the list goes on. You know, you can just, all of these things are just triggers that can cause you to have to do something pretty quickly that you may not have planned for. So that's part of the process of developing a contingency plan, so that you're not going to be caught out if that sort of thing happens, because that's when that's a fire sale, basically, and that's when things can fall apart, and particularly if if one partner has been running the business and has all the intellectual capital up here, then it really creates some issues, and you'll find you just won't get what you expect to get for your business, unfortunately.
I was listening to a very interesting tale of a succession plan last night only, actually,
Mm.
for our local Business Excellence Awards, where son took over from dad, and dad had trouble letting go, and we've always done it this way. Yeah.
Hmm. Absolutely right. I think that might be called dissension. Okay.
Another D, another D.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Um, so, what would be the key areas owners need to focus on to make their business saleable?
Uh, Adam, the biggest golden nugget that I can give you here is to give yourself enough time and plan for it. Because if you don't have a plan, you've got absolutely no idea where you're going. So, first thing that you really need to do is think about what's the number that you want. Whether
Yeah.
you're going to lie on the beach, okay, or whether in fact you're going to sell the business, what's the number that you actually want? What's your enough is enough? I heard that expression the other day, which I thought, wow, that's good. I'm going to use that. What's your enough's
Mm.
enough number? How much money do you need to have for you to be able to enjoy the lifestyle that you want, and for you to be able to sell your business? Okay, somebody comes along and says, I'm going to give you $3 million today for your business. Is that enough for you? You've got to work that out, which means that you've got to think about it and you've got to actually plan ahead. Um, a lot of people think that they can just sell their business in the space of 5 or 6 months. I've actually had conversations with a few people. I must say that I've had to contain myself, because when I ask them the question, when are you thinking about getting out? And they'll say, I think in probably about 6 months. I say, well, right. Well, that's going to be a challenge, because you really do need to give yourself enough time to plan. And the areas that you need to focus on in particular to actually create value in your business and make sure that you've got it maximized or optimized. I like to use the word optimized to the level that's actually going to give you your enough's enough number. And then you've got to think about what's possible for your business. And when you consider the different types of, let's talk about selling, when you consider the different types of sales that you can have, whether it be a financial sale or a strategic sale, your enough number is going to be impacted. When you're doing a financial sale, usually that's a multiple of the earnings that you might have. How are we going for time here, Adam, by the way?
Okay,
Okay.
we're on the edge, but that's okay because
Okay.
I'm gonna add a comment a little later.
Okay. And so, you're only going to get a multiple of a profit figure. But what I like to encourage people to do is actually have a look at the strategic assets in their business, and to see how you can make those strategic assets of more value to a strategic buyer. And this is a process that's going to take quite a long time. So um, there's quite a number of steps to go through. There's quite a number of questions to be able to answer, to even think about who might be a strategic buyer for you. But it's not that hard. It just means giving yourself enough time to actually go through that particular process, and getting an idea of what other opportunities are out there. And it is just a thinking process, because you'll be surprised where the value lies in your business, in your database, in the cash flow that you can provide. Say your industry really well, and there might be a couple of other major competitors, and one of those competitors might be in big trouble. You might be able to sell your business into the bigger one, or into the one that's in trouble. They might need your cash flow, to be able to actually create, to get them out of the woods, to overcome the threat that they might be facing. So, that's just a really, just straight off the top of the head, idea of potentially what you might be able to do. So it just requires time and requires some strategic thinking about different ways that you can use the assets that are actually in your business.
Okay, that time aspect, this is not my field, but I have come across a couple of issues over the years. One of them was a client whose personal affairs were so interlinked with the business affairs that he certainly needed time to split them off. He had
Correct.
director's loans and guarantees and all the rest of it.
Yep.
Major problem.
Yep. Absolutely major problem. And that's another, as you've just said, another reason to give yourself time, because to untangle those and to not create issues as far as the taxation office is concerned, in particular, you need at least 3 years so that everything isn't perceived as being done for a reason to evade tax or avoid tax in some way, shape or form. Yeah. Very, very important. You need time.
And the other one that relates to this, and you touched on it earlier, what's up there? So many small businesses, privately owned businesses, are run on the knowledge of the owner or owners, and they're not documented. So if a person buys and somebody else buys that business, how are they going to recreate that profit level and that cash flow if they don't have access to that knowledge?
If you don't have your business well systemized, documented, and that is the intellectual property that resides in the business that most small to medium business owners often do not have well documented, well articulated, well systemized. It's and that's something that just takes a time and effort to actually put in place.
And that's my experience. Most of them haven't got it. I've done a lot of judging for business awards over the years, and one of the things I've found is those businesses that win Business Excellence Awards always have good systems and procedures.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And I must say that we had the good fortune, it's a long time ago now, it was back in the early 90s, before we had beautiful PCs and Excel spreadsheets and all the wonderful things we have today. But back in those days in my business, we implemented continuous improvement and TQM, which was in fact then required us to document all our procedures, and of course everything was manual, and doing that in 5 locations around Australia with 80 odd staff involved, was just a major exercise. Took us 2 years, but boy did it reap dividends. I can't sing the praises highly enough for doing that.
I've done a bit of TQM, so we should have a chat about that at some stage.
Right.
Very much
I've still got my manuals here, actually. Talk about letting go. Not.
Kerry, that's really great. Where can people go to get more information or resources?
Go to my website, which is theexitstrategygroup.com.au. You'll find there that there's a link to be able to get a copy of my book there, which is available. You can just click on the link. And I'd also like to offer everyone listening to this, if they'd like to do just sort of get a toe in the water discovery valuation, that there's a free report available that you can get, and the URL is actually not on my website. It's a secret one that I only give to special people. So you'll have to make a note of this if you can write it down. So it is the Exit Strategy Group. .com.au/free report.
Okay.
Just /free report.
Just so people get a chance to note that again. Could you just repeat that again? Thanks, Kerry.
Yep, sure. The Exit Strategy Group.com.au/free report.
Great.
And that'll give you a toe in the water valuation, discovery for your business, which will be terrific.
Kerry, thank you very much. That's really wonderful. The subject that you're talking on and your expertise in that area is something that as I've got a little older has become near and dear to my heart. So thank you very much. I hope our viewers they've got something they can really take away. Thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thanks, Adam.
Thanks, Kerry.